Y'all, man, we're gonna have to make this part 2. See how it cut off last time. Yeah, this nigga fell asleep. But we ain't gonna get into that. Had some technical difficulties, and now we got to do a part 2. But what we ended with in the last episode, in the episode 33, is we were talking about how they're now banning South Africans and a couple other African countries, but they're not banning European countries.
They're definitely not gonna ban Israel.
Yeah. European countries and Israel all have cases of this Omicron, however you said.
Is Australia
variant.
still banned?
Huh?
Is Australia banned?
Banned what?
From the United States?
Oh. I don't know. But one of the South African, I think she's a doctor, or maybe she's just a representative. She came out against the United States banning Africans, but not banning other countries. And she's going to make a point. Now, whatever your feeling is about pro or anti-vaccine, that's your opinion, but she's going to speak and show the hypocrisy and how they treat the Africans and how they say they want to solve this problem, but that really don't go together when you get to how they treat them. Let me just show you this video.
Well, I'm pleased to say that joining me now live from Abuja is a co-chair of the African Union's Vaccine Delivery Alliance, Dr. Ayowade Alakija. Dr. Alakija, thank you for your time. Do you feel that this was inevitable in some way?
Thank you, Philippa. It was absolutely inevitable. And may I say firstly that had the first SARS-CoV virus, the one that was first identified in China last year, originated in Africa, it is now clear that the world would have locked us away and thrown away the key. There would have been no urgency to develop vaccines because it would have been expendable. Africa would have become known as the continent of COVID. What is going on right now is inevitable. It's as a result of the world's failure to vaccinate in an equitable, urgent, and speedy manner. It is as a result of hoarding by high-income countries of the world. And quite frankly, it is unacceptable. These travel bans are based in politics and not in science. It is wrong.
I hear your anger about the immediate reaction and about the lack of action beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's just hope this is a dress rehearsal that we're seeing right now with the Omicron variant and not the main event. The science, we don't know yet. What we can say about COVID, what we can say about this current variant is the best thing that we know is that we don't know. So this is hopefully a dress rehearsal. But because until everyone is vaccinated, no one is safe. But what exactly is the global playbook on this? What are we planning to do? Are we just planning to act politically, knee-jerk reaction, so that we can satisfy those people within our countries, that we're keeping those, those unvaccinated Africans out? Why are the Africans unvaccinated? It's an outrage because we knew we were going to get here. We knew this is where the hoarding, the lack of IP waivers, the lack of cooperation on sharing tech and sharing know-how. We knew this is a crossroads that it was going to bring us to. It was going to bring us to a variant. It was going to bring us to more dangerous variants. Why are we acting surprised? Why are we locking away Africa when this virus is already on 3 continents? Nobody's locking away Belgium. Nobody's locking away Israel. Why are we locking away Africa? It is wrong. And it is also time that our African leaders stand up and they find their voice. African leadership needs to sit up in this moment. Our presidents need to wake up in this moment and realize that this is not business as usual. Their continent is at stake. Our lives are at stake. And we cannot allow the world to do this to us.
You compared the situation now to the situation when the virus came out of Wuhan, came out of China. And if there'd been an instant lockdown and a travel lockdown, we'd be talking about a different pandemic. So the instant reaction is surely something has to be done in the very short term to try to stop the spread of the virus, this variant.
Absolutely, Philippa, but something needs to be done to everywhere. Let there be, my recommendation is have a coordinated global shutdown of travel for the next month if you want, but don't single out Africa. Don't single out South Africa. Botswana actually is where the virus was first identified. But do you know what was going on with Botswana a few months ago? The Botswanan government ordered 500,000 Moderna vaccines at $29 per dose, much higher than the rest of the world paid. They did not get those those vaccines because other people jumped ahead in the queue. Moderna supplied to other countries and did not supply to Botswana. And so now we have a variant. Do we know where this variant originated? No, we don't even know that yet. It could possibly be that the excellent science in South Africa has shown it up, but it could very well have come from anywhere else. This is discriminatory, it is xenophobia, and it is wrong. Let us follow the science. Let us not follow politics. Let us share the know-how. Let us allow African countries and others to produce their own vaccines so that we do not get to an Omega variant, which we cannot absolutely control.
Omega is the last one.
Okay. She said a lot there. So she made sure to point out there's other countries that got it, but they're not being banned. She also pointed out that Botswana purchased at an increased value millions of COVID shots, but
she said 500,000.
Or was it a million?
500,000.
Okay, but received none of them. Now remember, we also talked about a couple weeks ago, Nigeria as well purchased millions of doses and got none. They still waiting on them. So not only do they charge them at more,
they still don't give it to you.
They don't even give it to them. You in a queue. You basically paying to be in a queue. You're not actually paying for the actual
If somebody,
vaccine.
Maybe the Most High don't want them to get.
Now, she also said there how it possibly didn't even start there, the variant, the Omicron variant. But I read something that said it may have started with diplomats that came to Botswana or South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting blamed for something that might not even be their fault. Now, I'm going to show you all this right here. Hold on. You see this? This was from 3 months ago. This was a South African doctor. He said, South African speaker. He said, once again, the world media is reporting South Africa has a new COVID variant, as if the variant started here and is infecting us all. Can I say this again, more loudly for the idiot journalist at the back? South Africa has one of the most sophisticated and advanced infectious disease infrastructure on the planet. Some of the world's leading epidemiologists work in South Africa. We've had to develop the capabilities to deal with the TB and AIDS and other diseases ravaging our continent. So that was 3 months ago when they were trying to blame another variant on them. And you can see here.
So they've been trying to use an excuse to
ban Africa, I guess. I don't know. Or they really, we know the end result of this is to scare people to get the jab more. Now, this is him again. This was recently. He said, interesting update on the Botswana government. The Omicron variant they detected came from visiting diplomats. You can call it what you like and shut your borders to Southern Africa if you want to, but the variant is already on the move. Now that South African scientists have shown you what to look for, I'm sure many more countries will find American variants. It's probably correct to slow down as much movement as possible around the world, at least until we have properly understood this variant. This will take a few weeks. It is really bad. We will be glad we put a break on it. If it is really bad, we will be glad to put a break on it.
This is the dark winter Joe Biden been talking about?
Now, that could be the case. But as I said, I'm going to show people that saying it ain't really that dangerous. Now, this was Fauci explaining COVID, saying that we're going to have to live with it. As in, no more lockdowns. Everybody's going to get it. It is a proven fact. Everyone will get it.
He said no more lockdowns?
When Biden said his administration is not doing any lockdowns because it's not useful. You either get vaccinated, wear a mask, and that will stop it. But it's like,
what if you don't get that?
Exactly. So what they're saying is you're going to get vaccinated.
Or what?
Look at Australia. We're going to talk about Australia, what's going on there. Germany, Austria. What's the other countries? Switzerland. They just did some crazy shit. They just voted to have the passport things. But anyway, let me show y'all what Fauci said before we get into even deeper into this American variant.
We certainly are not going to eradicate it. We've only eradicated one virus, and that's smallpox. Elimination means there's none of it in the country like we have now with polio and with measles. I don't think we're going to be there with this, but what I do think we will be able to do is get a level of control that's low enough that it doesn't interfere with our function. It doesn't have a major impact on society and what we do. It's not going to go away. The lower we get it, the better off we'll be. And you get it that low when you get the overwhelming majority of the population vaccinated and boosted. So like I've said.
Hear what he said?
And boosted.
Not only are you have to be vaccinated, you have to be boosted as well to be called fully vaccinated.
This a new flu.
That's a new standard.
Multiple times, Chuck. It's in with our own grasp of how we're going to be able to live with the virus. The lower we get it, the lower the dynamics of virus in the community, the lower the risk to everyone.
So Fauci, Biden's administration are all saying, look, this is what things are now. It's not going anywhere. So they're telling you, get vaccinated, basically, and that can help society, quote unquote, return to normal. Normal doesn't exist no more. That's why you saw them saying new normal a year and a half ago.
Normal's gone. So
now I'm going to show you I'm going to show you this video, and we're going to explain it afterwards. Now, it's pretty obvious what happened to him. More than likely, he just had some a heart problem,
heart attack,
some sort of heart attack or stroke or something. Now, that's been popping up a lot in people ages teenage to 35. They've been saying that that's been a spike in that. We're not saying we know why. You just gonna say nothing, huh?
If I say something, the damn channel gonna get shut down.
All right, so that was like I saw a list of like hundreds, at least 75 of these football players have randomly just had these heart problems, heart attacks, strokes, yeah, and all kind of stuff. Now, there's this doctor in South Africa named Dr. Shankara Chetty.
Only thing we can assume is their damn blood pressure up.
And by the way, this thing that's happening with these people is mainly affecting men. So here's the doctor here. I'm going to leave an article in the description. You can go read. I'm not going to even read through it and show it on here. The video will probably get deleted. I'm going to show you what he say is going on with what's going on right now with this pandemic and stuff. I'm going to leave the article in the description. I'm just leave it at that. But if you see this right here, mRNA COVID-19 vaccines by Pfizer and Moderna have serious side effects. Study how India may have saved itself from disaster. Now, this is an Indian publication. You have to go to an Indian publication to get this information. A report presented at the American Heart Association. Yes, I had to look up an Indian publication to get an American study.
That's sad.
Because American media won't even talk about it.
They hide stuff.
American Heart Association Scientific Section 21 says that the risk of developing acute coronary syndrome increases significantly in patients who receive the mRNA COVID-19 vaccines. The study found that the risk of developing heart diseases increased from 11 to 25% in patients who receive the COVID-19 vaccines developed by Pfizer and Moderna using the new mRNA technology. The study was presented by renowned cardiologist Stephen Grundy at a scientific session of the American Heart Association in conference on November 8, 2021, and was published in the journal Circulation. The study findings were presented as an expression of concern, which said mRNA COVID vaccines dramatically increases endothelial inflammatory markers and ACS risks as measured by the PULS cardiac test, a warning. You see that? The American Heart Association just said that these shots can, at 11 to 25%, raise your chance of heart problems, basically. American Heart Association. I'm going to show the actual study here. When I tried to look up the first time, this is what came up in the National Library of Medicine. They deleted it.
Damn.
But I was able to find it on the actual place where it's supposed to be, Circulation. So this is the actual study. So this is a study from the American Heart Association. I think I just covered myself right there. All right. Now look at this. Puzzling heart diseases in football. An unusual large number of professional and amateur soccer players have collapsed recently. Now this is based out of Germany. So so you had the American Heart Association, then you had the Germany Heart Association. Both say, look, something ain't right. Something ain't going right with this.
Something ain't right.
So as you can see, the professional player Sergio from FC Barcelona will be out for at least 3 months. The 33-year-old has been substituted for a game against DePrivio, whatever his name is, with breathing problems. He had clutched his chest and was hospitalized. He is now being treated with cardiologists for heart problems. At a European Championship, the player Christian collapsed in front of the cameras, diagnosed cardiac arrest. Erickson survived. The two professionals are just two examples of many footballers who are struggling with heart problems, some of which are life-threatening. Wonder how that's happening.
What's happened in the last 2 years?
Yeah, it's so strange. People passing out. I don't remember this happening. You?
Can't tell you.
Now let me show you what the South African doctor, one of the doctors who actually found the Omicron variant. He's one of the people who found it. Now look what he described this variant as.
Even if it does go away, relatively speaking, quickly, while it is here, what are the signs about its virulence? The extent to which it's serious and will cause hospitalizations?
Yeah, it's early days. We don't know as yet. That's the bottom line. There's an optimistic view that so far the cases have been pretty mild. And if we have a hospital surveillance program as well, and that hasn't shown any significant uptick. So certainly the cases that have occurred so far have all been mild cases, mild to moderate cases, and that's a good sign. But let me stress, it is early days. We still have to wait and see.
Now you hear that? He said it was mild.
They're telling you that it's pretty severe. The worst thing ever that's happened.
You look at American media. It's the worst thing ever.
That you think it's the plague.
Like they're saying, oh my God,
it's
horrific.
That's here.
Yeah, they're like, it's horrific. We just got to run for basically they're saying you got to run for your damn life. It's over. Now, this next one is another doctor. Hold on. Now, this is a doctor as well. This is one of the people who found the variant. South African doctor who flagged Omicron claims variant not causing serious illness. Angelique Cortez, part of the team that discovered the new COVID-19 strain, says even unvaccinated patients treated by her have had mild symptoms. By the way, they're pointing out that a lot of people who are catching it are fully vaccinated.
Damn.
A South African doctor who raised the alarm over Omicron said Sunday dozens of her patients suspected of having the new variant had only shown mild symptoms and recovered fully without hospitalization. Angelique, chair of the South African Medical Association, told AFP she had seen around 30 patients over the past 10 days who tested positive for COVID-19 but had unfamiliar symptoms. What brought them to the surgery was their extreme tiredness, she said, speaking from Pretoria, where she practices. She said this was unusual for younger patients. Most were men aged under 40. Just under half were vaccinated. So almost half were vaccinated.
And still were
catching the new variant, quote unquote. These very mild symptoms were different from those in the variants, which gave more severe symptoms. So it's actually one of the weaker ones, she's saying. This is according to her. Alerted health officials of a clinic picture that doesn't fit Delta, South African dominant variant, on November 18th when she received the first 7 of her 30 patients. She said South African scientists had by then already picked up on the variant, by then known as B11529, which they announced on November 25th. News sparked a panic flurry as travel bans of Southern Africa as countries raced to contain its spread. Measures for the South African government deemed rushed and unjust. Cortez said it is unfortunate that Omicron has been hyped as this extreme dangerous virus variant with multiple mutations, while its virulency was still unknown. The World Health Organization has designated it a variant of concern, and scientists are working to assess its behavior. So, 2 of the doctors that found it
say that
said
it's mild.
It's mild. It's one of the weaker variants.
It's one of the weaker variants that. But they're painting it as its worst thing, so you can go get more. They can order more.
Yeah, go get more.
They want to order more of.
Yeah, but Africa not getting them. As the woman said, they're ordering them and they just ain't giving them to them. They give them to other countries.
Black people don't feel as much pain as other people do.
They can hold out a little longer.
Yeah, they discovered that through us. So,
by the way, the courts just blocked Biden's a third court just blocked Biden's mandate of OSHA. Third court, so they knew it wasn't gonna pass. They said this because they knew when they said this.
What about all those people that done quit?
Exactly. What happened?
Did they get that filed lawsuits?
No,
they
but they quit.
Claim unemployment now?
They quit. If they would have,
so that's what it was, to scare you all.
If they would have just gotten fired, and that's why they wasn't firing them. Remember, what they were doing was you were getting unpaid leave, so you couldn't come to work, but we didn't fire you.
Well, then if you're getting unpaid leave, then I think you might can get unemployment.
That's not the point. Is people was like, why even do this?
Yeah. I
gotta work. I gotta pay for my bills, so they just quit.
I ain't quitting.
See, that's how they got people.
They ain't get me. Fire me.
Here's another article.
Just treat me so bad so I can say it's a hostile work environment.
Yeah, then I quit and say it's a hostile work environment.
Hostile work environment.
It says Moderna says an Omicron variant vaccine could be ready in early 2022.
Oh, really?
I thought it took years to make.
That's a month and.
That's a couple months.
That's a month.
Well, they said early, so we'll give them April. We'll give them March, April.
Oh, that's 3-4 months away.
What? It's a Moderna chief medical officer Paul Burton says Sunday the vaccine maker could roll out a reformulated vaccine against the Omicron coronavirus variant early next year.
Spring.
Yeah, exactly. It's not clear. Now, remember, Biden's mandate was supposed to be by January 22nd.
Uh-huh.
So now, January 22nd, if you're not vaccinated, then this comes down, or a new vaccine comes. So all the people that were vaccinated before that date, and what did I say? I said January 22nd. After that date, it's going to be time for new vaccines. Just listen to what he said. It's not clear whether new formulations will be needed or if current COVID vaccination will provide protection against the new variant. This has begun to spread around the globe. We should know about the ability of the current vaccine to provide protection in the next couple of weeks. But the remarkable thing about mRNA vaccines, Moderna platform, he called it a platform. He just called his vaccines a platform. Is that we can move very fast, Burton said on BBC. If we had to make a brand new vaccine, I think that's going to be early 2022. Before that's really going to be available in large quantities.
Well, Pfizer already done made theirs, ain't they?
What you mean?
Didn't they updated their vaccine? That's the what's the name of that other vaccine?
You mean Community? Well, nobody took that yet. It got approved and nobody took it.
But it is a second offspring.
It's a second.
And so now Moderna's catching up and doing a second.
Well, they haven't given it to nobody though.
Oh, okay.
That was the okie doke. But so what they're saying is we can start from scratch and create a whole new vaccine in a couple months.
You don't run tests?
So you're not gonna test, and the FDA is gonna approve it, I guess, without tests.
You're supposed to have a test.
Okay.
Most people test 2 to 5 years.
So in a couple months they can create it, test it.
Well, they're
wait for the results and have it in the public.
They're testing it on the public, and the public don't even know it. Then 10 years later, you'll have shit on the bottom of the screen says, if you got this such and such, you may be able to sue.
See.
Contact such and such.
You just jump. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Sorry about that. Look at this right here. Pfizer CEO confident COVID treatment pill will be effective against Omicron variant. Of course it will. I'm going to say something. It's almost like one was made before the other. And I'm going to say it like that. It's almost like one was made before the other. Look at this right here. This is Australia health plans regional quarantine camps for indigenous close contacts. So in Australia right now, they are locking up the indigenous people. Putting them in COVID camps. Helping them. What do you call it? Quarantine camps or whatever you call them.
They're forcing them.
Yeah,
they're not going willingly.
They're coming to your house with the military and saying, "Hey, let me show you."
They've done a number on those people.
I thought, was that early this year? Last year they were supposed to be giving them reparations. Remember?
Shit.
I could have sworn I saw an article or a video or something or an announcement. They're going to be paying them for certain things they've done.
Just like how I said it. One of them said it the same way. Shit.
Let me show the video.
As you know, last night we took urgent action to escalate our response in these communities, immediately implementing a hard lockdown. That means residents of Binjari and Rockall no longer have the 5 reasons to leave their home. They can only leave for medical treatment in an emergency or if required by law. It's highly likely that more residents will be transferred to Howard Springs today, either as positive cases or close contacts. We've already identified 38 close contacts in Binjari, and that number will go up. Those 38 are being transferred now. I contacted the Prime Minister last night. We are grateful for the support of about 20 ADF personnel as well as army trucks to assist with the transfer of positive cases and close contacts and to support the communities. As you know, last night we took a...
So 38 cases, and he's sending their ass to quarantine camps. Now, keep in mind, the reason why he's doing this is because it said that in their country, and the Aboriginal people are the lowest vaccinated.
Who's the lowest?
Who's the lowest vaccinated in America?
The Negroes.
So when they tired of playing games, because right now when you bring up the black people's vaccination rate, the way they're able to get around that without coming off as being against black people, saying, oh, well, they just can't get to the clinics and stuff to get their shots. That's why we have to bring them to the church with them. We got to come to their front door. Remember that front door shit that we talked about where they come to people's front doors?
Knocking on your door?
The knock thing, Biden started. Well, if black people are the least vaccinated and they decide, you know what, we got to really quarantine the people who are unvaccinated, who's going to be the first people to grab up? Who are they going to lead into these quarantine camps first?
We don't know.
This is why you got to pay attention to what's going on around the globe, because this stuff can come back and harm us. It could be used against us. But I'm going to show y'all a rant by one of these indigenous people. This woman here, she spoke about what was going on over there, and she ain't too happy. Let's see what she had to say.
Binjari, what's going on there? Army's gone in and removed everybody. Michael Gunner, you coward, where are you? Come here, mate, come here. You lying, deceiving dog. You money slut. I don't want to hear from you ever again. I want to hear from my people all around this country. Here, my number. All right, everybody? 0434001158. Juni Mills, Larrakia Elder and Larrakia Country. You ring me and I'll tell you what's happening, and you can tell me what's happening with you. The world needs to know what's happening, what these people are doing in our country to our people. Enough's enough. I heard stories about people getting knocked down in the community and apparently by the army and forcefully vaccinated, and what? Our Indigenous brothers and sisters are watching it. They're traumatized, as we all are. Right? You're going to stay working in an army or a defensing where you're brutalizing our people, vaccinating them against our will, right? We don't want to hear any more rumors. We want to hear any hearsays. We want to hear from you. Please, ring me. Send me a message. I want to hear from everybody out there. Here, look, my sister's here. We got 3 elders, Larrakia elders, we Larrakia elders, right? We've been sitting down for 3 days talking about this stuff. And we are worried. We are petrified. We're sick. I'm sick in the guts for 3 days. We want answers. We want this shit to stop. We're scratching our heads wondering how we're going to stop. We want to go out to Hot Springs now. We want to see them mob from Binjari.
Now, there was a story in Europe. I can't remember the country, I'm sorry, where some people were in a quarantine camp. I want to say this was either Germany or Austria, one of those countries. The people were in a hotel quarantine camp, whatever you want to call it. It was in a hotel. They escaped from the hotel and ran to the airport to try to leave. They tracked them down. The cops came on the plane and arrested them and sent them back.
Wow.
They were trying to get out of the country. The people were trying to run. They were in a hotel. I guess they were quarantined. Hotel, what they call a quarantine hotel. They tried to run. They chased them down. They almost got out. They got to the airport and got on the plane, and they got them.
How they track them?
What you mean how they track them? I'm pretty sure when they got their cell phone thing over there, they further along than America. Phone. They way further along than in America. They already got tracking people by their cell phones.
I'm thinking about getting a flip phone.
You trying to downgrade, go back.
I'm trying to go off the grid.
Ain't gonna work. Too late, buddy. All right, enough of the serious stuff. We're gonna jump on some random topics now. First story we're gonna talk about is the attack on the King Richard movie. I know it's been out I still ain't seen it. I know we still ain't seen it.
We're gonna see it.
But the attacks on that movie, you just go, good Lord. And all the attacks is he's too likable in the movie. That's what you see all these people saying.
Maybe that's how his daughters view him, as likable.
You would think they would respect that, but these people are crazy. So they're angry because the man is likable in the movie. They actually was going at Will Smith saying that he should be ashamed of himself for playing this character and how it doesn't tell the whole story.
It does. It tells a story that Serena
and her sister wanted to tell.
It tells a story that Venus and Serena Williams wanted to be told about their father.
Through their eyes.
Through their eyes.
So you see this article right here. This is Serena's sister. This is the not king of the world, Serena Williams' half-sister, blasts King Richard film and says she won't go to absent dad's funeral.
And Venus and Serena, they approved the movie. They would not put their producer stamps on the movie until they watched it and they approved it.
So I don't.
And Will Smith said that after they saw it, they reviewed it. They said they cried from beginning to the end of the movie. So clearly,
they enjoyed it.
They enjoyed watching his performance with their father.
Didn't they father handpicked Will Smith?
Yep.
He wanted Will Smith himself.
Who they say should have played it?
They were saying Denzel. But they're like too old.
Denzel, like the man in his
you want him to lose 70s, weight and
60s,
stuff?
late 60s, early 70s, he can't play these roles no more.
They want him
he
to
done passed the baton.
See, that's what happened with black actors. We don't allow new, Will ain't new or nothing, but we don't allow the younger generation to do it. Oh, we want the best for every movie. You don't let other people get their chops get their chops in my head. But yeah, you see this article here, and people was kind of bashing the half sister, saying, "Oh, every time these publications come to her, she be ready to talk shit." And it's like, can you blame her? She felt like this man abandoned her.
They'll tell you what you believe.
What you mean?
Happened with Richard and his other family.
I believe he had two families.
Just like he accused our great-grandfather.
I've been doing a lot of research on our family. Our grandfather, all I can track back to is he was in the military and he got married to our grandmother. Nothing before that. I believe he had a second family.
And you believe we were the side family.
I mean, based off clearly the name change happened with us.
How we the side family when he
had a family before us.
So you saying that our grandfather is King Richard?
Well, no. See, the difference is Serena Williams' family was a side family that he made the main family.
So we the main family too.
Well, he completely, according to her, he completely
disowned them.
Like they don't exist after he left. But in his article, they went, back and forth, asking her questions about her opinions. In an exclusive interview with The Sun, Sabrina said, "I don't think that I'll see him alive. I've even buried my dad in my head because I know I won't be able to attend his funeral. That's just not going to be an option. They're not going to let me. They won't even tell me. I'll find out from the media reports or a friend. I can chase my dad around for the rest of my life in my head, or I can come to terms that I believe my dad loves me in his own way. That's all I can do." Now, according to her, he left when she was a teenager, like 13. And
ain't looked back since.
It seems to me he had two families and he chose at one day. You see here, he said they have 4 children: Richard III, Ronner, Rulis, and Renika, 49. So he was married to her mother. Then he left her mother. You see here, when Trina was just 8 and another sister 8 weeks old, Richard dumped his wife and 5 kids, allegedly walking out of the door to buy her a bike and never returning. Richard, now 79, went on to marry Serena and Venus's mother and made it his number one priority for his daughters to become tennis professionals, even writing a 78-page manifesto outlining his blueprint for success. Serena laughs out loud at his at his first 35 years being ignored. So wait, he was 35 when this happened. He was 35 when he left them.
How you walk out the door
at 35?
Saying you buying a bike and don't come back though? That's some traumatizing shit.
Well, he said that to the kid, obviously.
That's some traumatizing shit for a kid.
Yeah, Sabrina laughs out loud at the first 35 years and have been ignored by King Richard, the director, Marcus Green, who hasn't cast a single family member from the dad's first marriage, according to the movie director. It's a comedy, no? She scoffs when speaking to the son. How can you make a movie telling half of the story? It suddenly starts with the dad and his new wife and their children. It's nothing like happened. It's like nothing happened before. I think the title completely over the top. He thinks he's the king of the world, but no one that's ever been around him thinks he's a king, Richard. It's an outrageous title, but to the truth be told, it fits him. He's not even king of the world. If you look at his psychologically, it's something he never achieved part in his head. It's something he's never achieved apart from in his head. He lived only through his 2 daughters and forsaking all of his other children. I just need to see it now because I didn't realize how hysterical funny it would be. One of the things I'm going to have to do is not laugh out loud in the auditorium as I know the full story. The son had reached out to the Smith production team and King Richard's son, who has power of attorney, will comment. Since he walked down to Sabrina 57 and her siblings, she has she has seen her father just a handful of times. She alleges he also snubbed the family during the worst times in her life, including when her mother was battling cancer in 1998 and couldn't afford vital medical care before she died. Now, she said in this article that when he was with them, they were good financially. So he took care of everybody. When he left,
shit went down to them.
Yeah, they lived in pretty much poverty. Now, like I said, I can understand her anger and her desire to want,
man, just because you leave don't mean you don't take care of your kids.
Yeah, like he was cutthroat with it, but her attacking this movie does her no justice because you can't expect people to have the same view of him because of what happened to you. People view everyone differently. Your mom and your daddy don't view each child the same. One love you a little more. If people don't like hearing this, one of your parents love one a little bit more.
I don't believe so.
All right. Oh, so I say like one a little bit more. How about that? That's nicer, I guess. That's nicer. You're going to like one kid a little bit more. And the other parent might like the other kid a little bit more. It's just personality. It's just you see a different side of them. It's natural. My point is, you can't expect people to hate this movie because of how much you have against him.
Yeah. If you walk out on your kids, though, you need to take care of them.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
It remind me of, what's his name?
Who?
Quiet. I want a battle.
Oh, Quiet Room.
Quiet Room. He brought that guy
Queen's Flip. You go take care of your kids?
Take care of your kids. I take care of my kids.
I take care of my kids. What you mean?
Nigga, stop lying.
Chad, that was rotten. Check somebody on the internet. But anyway, so yeah. It's, I want to watch the movie though, but the real attacks have came from these white
feminists,
blogger feminists, some black ones too. The males and the females, black males and black females, have been attacking this movie, saying he's too likable. And it's like, look, bruh, the movie is about his journey of leading his 2 daughters to being superstar tennis players. That's the movie. That's the movie. It's not about his life. It's about his life with them.
Were they a fly on the wall during his whole life to tell you what should and should not be in the film?
You talking about?
These people that are critiquing the film, they're like they've been with this man every step of his life to critique it like they are.
It is what it is, man. Next thing I want to show, it's a fucked up story. Man convicted of raping Lovely Bones author Alice Sebold exonerated 40 years later after film producer dug into the story. Now, here's the crazy part. A film producer can read her book and go, this is bullshit. But prosecutor and all investigators, they just got confused. They didn't know.
It's a white woman. She said somebody raped her. Somebody raped her.
So a film producer at Netflix can read it and say, this is book, man. And the whole project gets scrapped, and he go out of his way to hire a private investigator to prove it and get the man out of prison.
It's really sad.
What's crazy is she wrote a book, multiple books, based off of this.
Oh, yeah.
Made millions. And right when she was about to make a couple more million from Netflix, it got drained. Like, I'm about to. Somebody finally said, something wrong with this. It took. I'm gonna show this next article where people compare her life after the incident versus his, and you go, this is a rotten world, just rotten. But oh yeah, y'all know you bring up the damn book, bring up the 14-year-old.
I just want to do that to irritate dude. Y'all didn't get to hear that footage.
Yeah, man. we were talking about the book. In one of her books, she has a 14-year-old character who
is raped,
was sexually assaulted and killed. He kept bringing up why she make him 14. I'm like, Travis, I don't know.
Well, we know why she made him 14 to show
innocence.
And
it killed her because she lost a part of herself. She died.
Exactly. But I was just like, why can't you just write a? Never mind.
I'm not gonna, sully these proceedings by saying I'm sorry. That doesn't cut it. This should never have happened. And I will say to Mr. Broadwater that I assure him that it will never happen again. That we will never let junk science into a courtroom in this county.
I think, as Mr. Fitzpatrick has pointed out, Mr. Broadwater cannot get those 16 years back. But based upon my review of the motions and the representations of counsel, this court grants defendant's motion. They take his conviction, and the indictment is hereby dismissed.
Thank you, Judge.
That concludes the proceeding.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
I couldn't help but cry. The relief that a district attorney of that magnitude would side with me concerning this case is so profound. I did everything I could do to always show people that, hey, I'm never that type of guy. I never could be that type of guy. A lot of doors been slammed in my face for jobs. She wanted children. I wouldn't bring children in the world because of this. And now we're past the age we can't have children.
Ruined his life. His life has been ruined over this, not just incarceration, but wrongfully being labeled a sex offender. These are things that he will never get back. An astonishingly simple case of injustice.
Most High might give you a kid.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. He like 50 something.
It don't matter.
I'm sorry, he's 61, something like that.
Damn.
This ain't Noah. He ain't Noah. But yeah, unfortunate case. But they couldn't get a hold of the woman, the author. They can't get a hold of her, Alice Sebold. She hasn't commented on it. She stayed in her house. They finally caught her ass walking her dog outside her home. And the media, they were clicking pictures left and right. They wanted to really shame her too, because they showed how she was living versus how he's living, and it really just the economy between that was kind of, as you can see. Look at this, more big farmer pushing shit on this. But anyway, exclusive. Lovely Bones author Alice Sebold, 59, refuses to comment after black man she accused of raping her in 1981 was exonerated. A private investigator who helped clear his name says he believes he knows who really did it, which means he knows exactly who did it. But Broadwater's name was cleared after producer working on a Netflix adaptation of Sebold's memoir, which detailed her rape as a student in Syracuse, noted that there were inconsistencies in the story and sought to help the private investigator. Once again, a producer was able to read a book and say, this is bull.
He smelled the bullshit.
So this is her. They caught her walking outside.
Look at her stinking ass.
Sebold, 58, has not commented on Monday's decision by the New York judge to declare that Broadwater, now 61, had been wrongfully convicted. On Wednesday, she was seen near her $6 million San Francisco home walking her dog. They made sure they showed it all.
Look at her.
They want you to hate. Look, this is the real one. Broadwater has been living in his home in Syracuse in New York, left, and he has since released from prison in 1998. He is married, but he has never had children because he didn't want them to bear the stigma of the rape conviction. He did not know the crime was he was wrongfully convicted of was of Sebold used to kickstart her career. Sebold now lives in a $6 million home right in a San Francisco. So think about this for a second. This 18, 19-year-old girl used her alleged rape from a black man to become a millionaire.
Yeah, but I thought they was living. I thought they had him moved up. His wife came in the courtroom with a mink jacket on.
They was talking about how they live. In the article, they talk about how they live. And they was like, man, they living really rough. But she's living in $6 million mansions and stuff. Now watch this right here.
She's living in a $6 million mansion
Yeah,
here.
she's living in a $6 million mansion with her husband. I wonder if she had children. But yeah, so look at this. Wait, where is it? This is the lineup. This is the guy she actually picked. You see, Alice Sebold's pick. This is who she picked in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
After she picked the dude, remember she said the reason why she picked that dude is because he looked at her like if he saw her, he would kill her. So she picked another dude. So then the officers, after she picked them, told her, you didn't identify the suspect. We know it's Broadwater. And she was like, okay. That reminded me of another case that happened. What's that part? The 4-part.
The 5?
Yeah, what's it called? Jesus Christ, how you forget? The case where the 5 black dudes in New York, or the 5 dudes in New York got accused of rape. The Part 5.
Park 5, something like that.
Something Part 5. Remember?
Central Park 5.
Central Park 5. Remember, she said she didn't remember. The cops told her this is who did it. And she just said, okay.
Why him?
I don't know. She said the other dude did it, but they told her no, it was this dude. This is the film producer here. I think he was a former officer or former investigator or something. He's very lucky that dude popped up. But here's the actual thing right here. The 1901 letter that led to a grown man being jailed for raping Lovely Bones author Alice Sebold. Sebold attacks in itself is not in question, allegedly. She told police at the time about the rape and examination was performed. Then, 5 months after it, when they failed to locate him, she saw a man in the street who she was convinced was her attacker. Broadwater was in the area at the time in a run-in with the alleged rapist, so he was brought into investigation. At lineup shortly afterwards, she was asked to identify the rapist, but she picked the man standing next to Broadwater. Cops told her afterward that she had failed to identify the suspect because she didn't pick Broadwater, the man they were sure she'd walked past in the street. So now, here's the thing. Either the officer simply wanted him to be the one that did it, or they're saying, look, you said this dude wasn't in the area to see you in the street, only Broadwater. But you're saying Broadwater didn't do it. So did you actually see the dude who you said did it? So either she lied, and the cops caught her in a lie right there, and she had to just go with it, or the cops lied.
So shouldn't he be compensated?
Exactly. And that's why some people think she hasn't came out and made comment, because if she comments, she got to apologize. If she apologized, she admits that it was her fault, so he could sue her.
10 stacks.
He could sue her. You see here, the police extracted one of the photo of pubic hairs to run a DNA analysis on him, and they used the hair analysis to convict him using technology that is now discredited. And lucky, Sebold describes the lineup and how she is. I'm sorry, right here in court, she identified him as the attacker, and in her book, she explained the discrepancy as a mistake because he was identical to the man she did pick.
They didn't look alike.
Not really. He was shorter, everything.
He was shorter.
And lucky, Sebold describes the lineup and how she was convinced that it was the man standing in position 5 who had raped her because he looked at her, though she was standing behind a glass panel and they could not see her. So the dude she did pick, she was like, he did it because of the way he's looking at me, even though it's a glass thing, they can't see you. She said, 5 black men in almost identical light blue shirts and dark blue pants walked in and assumed their places. It's not 1, 2, or 3, I said, she wrote in the memoir. Broadwater was standing in position 4. I stood in front of number 4. He was not looking at me. When I looked toward the floor, I saw his shoulders, wide like my rapist and powerful. Let me say this. That's a weird description right there. She called him powerful. All right. The shape of his head and neck, just like my rapist, his build, his nose, his lips. I hugged my arms across my chest and stared. Listen, y'all. Listen how she describing this in her memoir. The shape of his head and neck, just like my rapist's. His build, his nose, his lips. I hugged my arms across my chest and stared. Okay. He's powerful. You reckon that? All right.
Almost as she's fantasizing.
Just leave it alone. I'm moving on to number 5. His build was right, his height, and he was looking right at me, as if he knew I was there, knew who I was. The expression in his eyes told me that if we were alone, if there were no wall between us, he would call me by my name and then kill me. I approached the clipboard. I placed my X on the number 5 box. I had marked the wrong one, she wrote. So she's saying I meant to choose 5, or she's saying I meant to choose 4. After the lineup, she was told by Sergeant Lawrence that she picked out the wrong person. Alice, it is my duty to inform you that you failed to pick out the suspect, she quoted him saying. He did not tell me which one was the suspect. He couldn't, but I knew. I stated for the record that in my opinion, the men in position 4 and 5 were almost identical. She then described how the assistant district attorney, Gail, came into the room and said, well, we got the hair out of the bastard, referring to Broadwater. She then described, and Lucky, Sebold wrote that she believed she had made a mistake in the police lineup. She went on to identify him in court, and he was in jail. Now listen, she said in the lineup, she picked the wrong person, 5. But in court, she picked Broadwater. So what she said in the lineup, it was that dude. And this is what they used to stand on to convict this man. This is how easy it is to get arrested.
Man, cut that man his check.
Shit crazy, man. And then she got video. I tried to look up her video on Oprah, but I couldn't find it. So all I could find.
Oprah got that shit out of here. Oprah said she's trying to reconnect with the black community.
All I saw was her video on with Charlie Rose.
Charlie Rose.
And people in the comment section obviously are tearing her apart, saying you should apologize. You lied. You see, this video got more views than it did yesterday. It got like 5,000 more views, if I'm not mistaken. But so everybody in the comment section is like, you're a liar. Apologize to him and give him what he deserved. You need to pay him for what you did. 16 years in prison, no children because I didn't want to stick him on my kids. Is there really anything she could do? Really pay him back?
One thing she could do.
What?
Bungee jump and go straight to hell.
Bungee jump. Bungee jump. This is the
is that violence or
yes, calling for violence, so chill out. We're just joking. This is Tim. This is the dude who the producer. He actually put out a GoFundMe for him. This is the GoFundMe. He raised $14,000 out of $25,000 so far. I ain't gonna lie, I thought he would have more by now.
He would have more by now.
Even though somebody gave him $22,500. It's a good one. A good person, I guess. Another black man got out of prison for something he didn't do. Hold on. Load up now. All right. Missouri man exonerated after serving 43 years in prison for a triple murder he did not commit. Let me just go ahead and show the video, I guess. Oop.
Missouri prosecutor declared following here about a man who spent more than 40 years behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. Kevin Strickland was finally released from prison yesterday after a judge overturned his conviction. In May, the Jackson County, Missouri prosecutor declared Strickland innocent. Aaron Moriarty has followed this case so closely. Aaron, this has got to be good news.
Now, he got out, and I want to show something right quick. Like not gonna show the video this time. Hold on. Load up. He had an interview where he spoke about himself getting out and what we got. You know, when you get out of prison after 42 years, you kind of don't have anything to go back to. So he was asked what he's going to do, and he gave a brutal,
bittersweet, you might say. A moment, decade.
Answer. Hold on.
It's documenting her recantation, so we believe it to be a very credible recantation.
Back in May, Jackson County prosecutor Jean Peters Baker announced that her office found Strickland innocent.
So to Mr. Strickland, I am profoundly sorry for the harm that has come to you.
But at the time, Missouri law prevented her from being able to release him or bring his case before a judge. When we spoke with Baker back in June, she did not mince words.
Let's just call it what it is. This is wrong. And everyone that works in this system must find a way to do the right thing now. The right thing is getting Mr. Strickland out.
Strickland's first exoneration hearing was held 2 weeks ago after a new law passed in August allowed Baker to file a petition on his behalf.
Mr. Strickland, you have a...
After 43 years in prison, at what point do you think his anger turned into contentment? Well, he just realized I ain't getting out. How many years do you think he did before he wasn't angry no more? 30? 25?
20 to 30.
20 to 30. By 20-30 range, you think he just said, whatever.
A lot riding on this hearing, is that right?
The remainder of my life.
Strickland's family, who attended the proceedings, has been anxiously awaiting the decision.
It's been like a heartbreaking for us, just devastating.
Today, with Thanksgiving just days away, his brother tells the Kansas City Star that he cannot wait to see him to say, "Welcome home, brother." Strickland will not receive any compensation from Missouri. State law prevents exonerees who cannot prove their innocence through DNA from receiving compensation. When we visited Strickland in jail this summer, we asked him what he would do if this day ever came.
So what do you do? How do you start over your life at 62 and no money?
You know, I kind of jokingly talked about that recently with a friend of mine. I guess I get me a cardboard box and get up under the bridge somewhere.
Is that really, that's how you're going to start, you feel?
I mean, what do I have? I mean, if they were to tell me to roll out now, they'd take this chair. I have to crawl out the front door. I have nothing.
Under Missouri law, those who have been exonerated do not get compensation. It's another wrong, I believe, in Missouri's system and one that should be corrected.
And are there efforts underway to correct this?
Well, there are by this office, the one that I'm seated in now, the one that...
So, no. Basically, look, we got him out.
Outside her mouth.
We got him out, but we ain't
like, listen, we got him out.
We're not going to be able to give him any money, okay?
We're not going to be able to give him no money.
All right, let me show y'all. But he did get something, though.
1.5 million.
The people, you see here, 1.5 million raised for exonerated Missouri man who spent 43 years in prison. Talk about getting out and being able to enjoy. If I was him, I would take my money and I would leave America immediately. I would go to some island and chill out for the rest of my life. That's what I would do. I'm leaving America. I'm going to Puerto Rico. Might even go to Africa.
You go over there to Colombia, Brazil?
Nah. If you really want to make your money stretch, go to Gambia. Go to
niggas never say Africa first. You see where I want to go to Puerto Rico.
I just said it because it's tropical.
Mm-hmm.
But he can go to Gambia. He can go to Kenya. He can go to Ghana, South Africa, maybe Congo, maybe one of those countries. But I'm leaving America. Thank you for the money, people. His family was there, so obviously. But
I was family here.
Look, I was in the cage for 43 years. They'll understand. But next up, random. We're gonna shoot through these stories. Right here. Enslaved black man who escaped University of North Carolina targeted for re-enslavement. This was on this day in November 25th, 1829. So this is a story about a black man who ran from a university and was captured. This is the newspaper clipping right here. $20 reward. Banned off, I'm not even going to try to read that. University, whatever. But you see here, for decades, the University of North Carolina had an active slave leasing program, whereby the university leased hundreds of enslaved black people to students for a fee. On November 25th, 1829, after a black man escaped the university grounds and sought his freedom, rewards were issued to effectuate his recapture and re-enslavement on UNC grounds. How many? Okay, we've been talking about Brown University, Yale, Harvard. Now it's UNC.
Every university getting their turn, getting exposed.
Through this slavery leasing program, UNC engaged in active trafficking of enslaved black people by collecting fees from the students to lease. This is how crazy it was. people who owned slaves were leasing them to students at colleges. What?
To do what?
I don't know. What I mean, I got a college campus. I guess you would clean the grounds, but other than clean the campus and stuff. But what is a student leasing a slave for? Enslave black people from the back to them. Students pay a yearly fee and their tuition directly to the university for the labor of enslaved black people. So I guess they was like janitors.
Okay.
So the students had to pay in their tuition to pay for the cleaning of their rooms and stuff. Oh, that's some crazy shit, man. Let's see. Next story. Connecticut officials issue warning about fentanyl-laced marijuana. You know, when they first legalized marijuana, everybody who was black was saying, look, man, they're going to do something to that weed. Niggas didn't even get into the weed game at first because they were like, nah, they lying. There's something about it.
You got to wait and see first.
So when they first released weed, you had a lot of people who would call conspiracy theorists saying they're doing something to it. It's going to make it stronger and make people go, it's going to turn into a more potent drug. Now they're finding fentanyl laced in it.
Where does fentanyl come from?
It's funny you bring that up because, as they showed in this article here, Biden fails to mention top fentanyl exporter China and comments on 100K U.S. drug overdoses.
Oh, it just slipped old Biden's
just
mind.
forgot.
You know he has dementia.
President Biden on Wednesday released a statement mourning the more than 100,000 Americans who died last year from drug overdoses. Now, keep in mind, how many people died from COVID last year? They said, was it 300K, 400K?
I believe so.
100K died from opiates.
Can we break down the statistics of race? Who died?
Oh, we already know. But even though every time you look up a video on this now, they show a black
They
face.
just say Americans died, but
They say
it was
American.
crack. Oh, the African American community, the black community.
Without mentioning China's leading role exporting fentanyl, which drove the 29% annual increase in deaths. So Biden just forgot. He said, y'all better leave that weed alone too. This is a funny story. Juicy Smollett trial has started.
Smollett.
This is how we got here. So they finally, it's been 2 years. I thought the charges was dropped. Now they went through how this happened. We already know how it happened. It says Smollett said he was attacked. You can read through that. The two brothers confessed to the plot. Let me pause that. These damn ass boy. The two brothers confessed to the plot. Smollett is indicted with 16 felony counts. All charges are dropped. How did that happen? Police released investigative reports. Judge approves a special prosecution. Grand jury returns 6-count indictment. That happened in February 2020. I didn't hear nothing about this.
Nope.
I didn't hear anything about them.
I thought it was,
over.
Yeah, I thought Juicy had moved on with his life.
No, they're now doing the jury selection. Man, oh man, I'm definitely gonna keep up with just the funnies. Like when they release the text messages and the emails showing that they set the shit up, are they gonna let this stuff come out? By the way, Ghislaine Maxwell trial is going on right now, and the media literally said we're not gonna put it on television because it's too raw. We don't want that on television. What? They're already saying, they're asking questions in articles. Was Ghislaine Maxwell a victim? Really?
No, fuck, she won't.
She was the handler.
She's a fucking madam.
Well, we will talk about that as the trial goes on. We'll make a video about that. But we're gonna talk about that plane too. The plane thing came out. There's a couple names on there that wasn't on there before.
Chris Tucker?
That's not the same Chris Tucker. But we'll get to the list soon. There's some black people on there though. We'll get to that soon. But yeah, man, Juicy. I mean, he got to be found guilty, right?
Flight logs.
You still on that? Juicy got to be found guilty, right? Unless the two brothers retract their statement that they actually did it.
Maybe Obama make a phone call for him.
Another one? You mean gonna make another one?
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is the last story right here. Hold on. This is a quick. I saw this dude tweet this, and I just thought this is crazy. Look at this right here. While many Americans are trying to survive and pay back tens of thousands of student loan debt, one of India's most prestigious universities has sold nearly 36,000 fake degrees for around $1,400. Funny that $1,400 sound like the stimulus, but anyway. India has now nearly 1,000 universities to supply fake degrees to H-1B visa immigrants.
They scammers. You remember that YouTuber dude that looked like
Who?
PewDiePie?
Yeah. He called them scammers all the time.
He lives in India.
Yeah, it's an India travel dude. He lives in India. He talks shit about Indian people all the time.
Oh, shit about them all the time. Call them scammers.
You see, India's fake degree. Hundreds in Singapore, Malaysia, U.S., Canada left questioning qualifications after many university scandal. All right, look. How will Indian IT professionals benefit as Biden lets H-1B visa
also,
ban
I know this is off
expire?
subject, but you heard that the Twitter
Jack Dorsey stepped down.
Jack Dorsey stepped down.
I wonder why.
Somebody told him to step down.
I wonder why he stepped down. Remember,
all these high tech people are stepping.
Facebook changed itself to multiverse or whatever it's called, metaverse. Now Facebook, he's stepping down from Facebook.
Remember, Jeff Bezos made himself not the.
He's not the head of Amazon. So
he's still running it.
He's still running. Yeah. We'll see what something happened with
looks
YouTube.
Like they get ready to give their allegiance, handing over stuff to the.
No, I wonder what's gonna happen with YouTube soon. We'll see if some news come out about them.
You never hear nothing about YouTube.
But look, how will Indian IT professionals benefit as Biden let H-1B visa ban expire? So Biden is lifting the ban on letting these people with these fake ass degrees into the country. So Biden is once again pushing for more people to get into the country.
We be going to you be having one of these doctors operate on you, and they saying they got a degree.
No. They Indian people are known for being in tech.
Oh, it's tech.
I think the head of Facebook is Indian. I might be wrong. Is it Google? No, Google. Google or YouTube, one of them is Indian. But anyway, I just think, Biden doing what he's been doing since the entire administration started.
He ain't been doing shit.
How Kwame said, kicking your damn drawers in. But anyway, I think you're going to stop on that one. This is just part 2 of what we could have did. That probably would have made the episode like 4 hours. It's a good thing we didn't. But yeah, man, hope y'all enjoyed part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, obviously it's up on the page. Hope you liked the show. You got anything else you want to say?
Thanks for viewing the channel.
I just said that. Anyway. All right, man. Y'all be safe. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, share the video. And all praise to the Most High. And peace, man.